Welcome back, Dollies.
Welcome back. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We made it through another week. We did it.
Barely. Um, what did you say?
I said my co-host.
Oh, yes. We have a special
Literally
today.
my mini, like he like any adult conversation, he's like right there and he's like, yeah, and this, and he's just like talks and people are like, oh my God. Somebody at the store this week was like, I didn't think that, well, they thought he was a girl, but he did correct them for the first time.
What did he say?
So went to the store this week. I feel like I haven't been to the grocery store in a while. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Probably because we try to make most things from home and buy local, but I needed to go to the store and I literally like went to the store and I'm like, you know what? I'm not taking the cart. I'll leave it at the cart thing inside and we'll just carry the stuff out. It was only like 3 bags. And I like walked out to the car partially and then I decided that. And then I'm like, I left our stuff in there. I didn't even grab anything.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
then help. So then I had to run back in. The lady was kind of like, I probably looked a little frantic.
Yeah.
She was like, sorry, I was so distracted by like how pretty she was, like her skin and her eyes and her hair. And usually I don't correct people because it usually doesn't go on and on. It's just like, oh, thank you, you know.
Yeah.
But and I feel like he's never, and then a lot of the times they're like, what's her name? And he never responds. I think he's like, they're not talking to me,
Yeah.
you know. So then like she just kept going on and then he was like, she's like, what's your name? And he was like, I'm not a girl.
Oh,
And I was like, oh. And she's like, what? And I was like, he said he's not a girl. And she was just kind of like, oh. She was a younger girl, but then I was like, does she think that like, at this point in time, they would be like, well, they don't identify
right. Like,
as a girl. So
yeah.
I was like, and then she was like, what's his name? And then I told her, and then so yeah, that was interesting. So I was like, I guess I need to start correcting people now. Uh,
Yeah, because he's like listening and realizing for
yeah,
standing
so
for himself, speaking up, letting people know.
that was interesting this week. And then, yeah, I feel like it's just been uneventful. I've just been like baking most of the time, standing up.
Yeah.
What about you? What's going on this week?
Honestly, I've just been working out. I took the hardest workout class of my life Wednesday morning at 6:30 a.m. It was a Legree class, and if you don't know, Legree is not Pilates. They're not the same thing. Legree is 100 times harder. And I learned it the hard way. Um, it was a really good workout though, and honestly, during the workout and when I left, I was like, I'm never taking a Legree class again. But now that I've gotten through it, I feel pretty good. Like, and I'm like, maybe I would take it again, like a once a week type of thing. I definitely worked out muscles I've probably never worked out in my life because it's just like it targets those muscles that you don't really like the small ones. You don't really activate like just doing regular workouts in the gym. So it was a good experience. Um,
Do you like it more than, no, I can't even think. The
bar?
classes?
Honestly, I do. I liked the bar class, but I think I would stick with Pilates or Legree. Um, yeah, it was just like confusing because I thought that the terms were kind of like interchangeable, or maybe it was like a style of Pilates.
I've like never heard of Legree.
Yeah, I've never really heard of it. I just started like with the Pilates class, I started kind of seeing that term thrown around, but I didn't think anything of it. And then
And does that studio just do Legree?
I have
They
no
don't
idea
do,
because the studio is called Pilates Plus LA. So I signed up, but then it says
and they're
Legree.
on class
But
pass.
I was like, oh, it's probably just like a style because even at Pilates studios, they have like different types of Pilates classes. Like they have like one that's more like flexibility and core, arms, abs, ass, like things like that. So
Yeah.
like you kind of choose, or it's like a beginner, intermediate, advanced, things like that. So I'm like, it's probably just a style. And then I walked in, I'm like, hi, like, do I check in? It's my first time here. She's like, yeah.
My
And she
favorite store.
yeah, and then she goes, okay, for starters, I'm just gonna have you sign this waiver. That was the first red flag. I was like, a waiver?
Wow.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know what I would need a waiver for, but okay. And she goes, and just to make sure you're aware, this is not Pilates, this is Legree. You've done Legree before, right? Looking at me like if I were to say no, she would be like, well, maybe you should rethink. So I was just like, yeah, of course I've done Legree. Duh.
Duh. I live in LA, okay?
Yeah, of course I've done Legree. I've literally never done Legree. So I just panicked and I lied. And I was like, yes, I have. I said, it's just been a minute. And she goes, okay, no problem. She's really sweet. I got on the reformer and I was there like 10 minutes early. So I started Googling like Legree versus Pilates. And the first words I see are strength training and bodybuilding. And I was like, okay, cool, cool. And it was so hard. It
Were
was like
there bodybuilders in
no, it was all girls, and the girls started walking in, and I'm like, okay, the girls are cute. Like, it's, it's all females, kind of like Pilates. So, like, this is gonna be great. Like, I got this. I'm like, these girls, it, I'm like, this is like boot camp. These are like military girls. I was like, what? I'm like, how are you guys not taking breaks right now? I'm like dying over here.
Where's my water?
No, seriously, I was like, okay, like people are taking breaks, right? Because I had to like take a break like every 15 seconds and nobody was like taking a break. I was like, what? These girls are insane. Like, is everybody like okay, like in the head here? Because this is crazy.
Where's my
Um,
free date?
yeah, but it was very motivating and it was a really good workout. So I might be back. Other than that, I got my nails done.
Love.
Very spring.
I feel like we need to talk about your nail lady because she's a real one. I like want to see her.
Okay, the Nail Lady Chronicles that I've been having.
She's like
I've
a ride or die, and you don't even expect it. Or
What's crazy, I've gone to her maybe like
this is
three.
like the third time, I think.
Yeah, this was like the third time, and I really like her. But every time, like she's really quick with the nails. It's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes
And does
max.
she know your name? Like she totally remembers you.
She totally remembers me. She's very sweet, but I don't know what ethnicity she is.
And is she older, like our parents' age, or is she like,
I would say that she's probably in like her 40s. I feel like 40s. I think. Um, like mid to late 40s. But yeah, she's really cute. And so the first time I go was last year in October. And I got my nails done and I usually get a really light color, like I'll do white, but or I'll do baby pink, sometimes white. And I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little
wild?
zest. Yeah. And I was like, I think I want to do black gel. And she was like, okay. And then I'm like, we're trying to make conversation. And I'm like, oh, she's like, you doing anything? I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a little Halloween birthday party for one of my friends. So we're like going out and celebrating, dressing up. I'm like, are you doing anything for Halloween? Because it's Halloween weekend. And she was like, no. She's like so serious, like doesn't even make eye contact. She's like, I hate Halloween. She's like, I don't understand it. I don't like it. I was like, oh.
Okay,
Okay. So I'm
my
not gonna
bad.
talk about Halloween anymore. Like you asked. And then the second time I went, um, she I'm like there and she's like, what do you want to do for your nails today? And I'm like, oh, I really like the French tip you have going on. I think I want to do that. She goes, okay, great. She tells the receptionist, grab the color, whatever, she brings it. And then like she's still working on my nails before she's doing the gel. The receptionist gets up, goes to the back. Then all of a sudden she's like, Alyssa. I'm like, yeah. And she's like whispering. I'm like, yes. And she's like, French tip. $15 extra. And I was like, oh, $15 extra? Like, no. I was like, maybe I'll just do the baby pink then, because I was going between the two. She's like, yeah, baby pink's better. And I was like, she's like, that way you don't have to pay extra. I was like, oh, okay. But like, why are you whispering? And then the girl comes back and I'm like, and then she tells her, they speak a different language. I kind of feel like they speak like Farsi or something. And she's like, grab like the baby pink and said she changed her mind. She grabs the baby pink, brings it, and then Like she's doing it, and then she gets up, the receptionist walks back again, and the nail lady's like, Alyssa. I'm like, what? Like, why are you whispering?
Are
And
you
she,
okay?
yeah, she's like, uh, next time, text me to make an appointment, okay? I get you in. I was like, okay. Like instead of going through the web, she's like, take my number. I'm like, why do I feel like this is so sketch? I was like, okay. She's like, text me next time I get you in. I'm like, okay. So then sure enough, this time around, I texted her. I was like, hey, it's your girl. Do you have time for Friday, 3:30? She's like, yeah, perfect. I go, we're doing my nails. And then she's like, let's pick a color. So I'm like looking at the colors, like the fake nails. And I found this like iridescent color that I really liked, but it was like a light pink, like very mermaid, very like sequin, but it was
I like want to see the color. It sounds like a pretty color.
really pretty because it wasn't like very bold or dark. It was still kind of light. So it's like could look like you go like that and it's very sequiny. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this one. And she goes, oh, God, no. And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, no, no. And I was like, you don't like it? And she's like, ugh. And I was like, oh. And she gets up and she looks at the wall filled with nail polishes and she goes, thank God, I think we're out of that one. And I was like, oh. And she's like cracking up to herself and she just like pats me on the shoulder. She's like, we're out of it. Thank God. I was like, oh. And I was like, I guess I'll go with this color, like this one that I have. She's like, that's better. I'm like, okay. I'll make sure to ask you next time which
What
one's good
color
or not.
do you think I should get?
Yeah. I was like,
I would love for you to go in there and be like, your choice. Do what you
you
want.
you know best. You know, she literally was like, oh God, no. Like, ugh. And I was like, is
Tell
that
me
bad?
how you really feel.
She was like, oh no. I was like, okay. She
I
literally,
wonder why, like, she hates girly colors or something, but then, like, purple and pink.
I don't know. I think she's just not into the like,
Mermaid vibes.
yeah, because it was like very iridescent. It wasn't just like like a solid
Solid.
color. It's very like, I don't know. I was like, dang, okay.
Okay.
Mom,
Do
I
you
told
even
you
know
no. I
her
was like,
name?
um, it's Nano,
No.
Nano.
Hmm. I'm like, I would love to know what she is.
It says on her desk. So yeah, that's my Nail Lady Chronicles. So, but the nails are really good. They're pretty cheap. They're like $40 for gel. And they stay for 4 weeks. My
Ooh,
nails never break.
$10.
Yeah, so I like her. I'm still gonna go to her. I mean, she, has good intentions, but like, uh,
She's definitely not like a beat around the bush. She'll tell you how it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, dang, she got comfortable with me real quick. She's like, we exchanged numbers. Like, she's not going anywhere. Other than that, me, Jamil, and Serena went on a hike this morning. We took her in her little hiking backpack, but she did really good walking in the beginning, but we don't like to push her too hard, just because her back but she did really good. So she
And
probably
was it
did.
hot?
It was not hot. Mm-mm. Yeah, it was great weather. So that's about it. Anything else with you?
Um,
Or
no, I
should
feel like it's been
we?
kind of a go-go week. Just like go
Yeah,
doing, trying to get ready for this baby. We had an appointment this week. We scheduled our ultrasound coming up in the next like 2 weeks, I think. I'm almost halfway.
I know.
19 weeks today.
Crazy.
Crazy. Time is kind of flying.
Yeah, it is. Um,
Otherwise, just struggling through that.
yeah, but speaking of pregnancy, I will start our first story off because it's about pregnant Kylie Kelsey.
Oh my God, I think I just saw what
Yeah.
this is.
Okay, so you might already know this.
Already irritated.
You're irritated?
Okay, maybe it's not the story that I think it is.
I'm like, oh God. Uh, okay. So story one, pregnant Kylie Kelsey fires back at mom shamers before giving birth. This the one?
I feel like it could be because she pretty much said, I saw a video, a clip of her that sh it showed me, and she was like, I had that epidural and I felt everything. I didn't feel the pain, but I felt everything. So don't say, I'm not saying if you get an epidural, it's not natural, you
Yeah.
know? Like, do you? But like, don't sit here and say like you felt everything.
In
No.
here, it shows that she says she felt everything except the pain, which I'll have to ask my mom because my mom had the epidural.
And
So,
usually people with the epidural say they can't even feel their legs. They don't know when to push. They have no.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about the epidural, and never really like spoken to people in depth about it, I guess. That have had it, like their experience.
And
So
like, if you have to do it, I have no shame on you. But I do feel annoyed by the people that are like,
yeah.
this is, you know, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, trying to make it like an equal playing field. You're
Yeah.
like, you did not feel the ring of fire.
Yeah. So don't even. When that baby's head
You felt
is coming
everything.
in and out, and you're like, please just push this freaking head through
Yeah. You're like,
without whipping.
some of us were screaming bloody murder because what we felt was death. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so pretty much Kylie Kelsey, who's pregnant with her and Jason Kelsey's fourth baby girl, recently slammed detractors of a cesarean section births while detailing her own birth plan. As the pregnant, not gonna lie host prepares to welcome her and Jason Kelsey's fourth baby girl, she detailed her birth plan and reminded her fans that she or any other pregnant person for that matter is not looking for feedback. You don't need to have an opinion on it, she said of her own birth plan during the March 27th episode of her podcast. You don't need to be worried about it. I just want a fat needle in my back that keeps the line in. It's such a short list because you cannot make a plan and assume that little muffin is going to stick to it. But Kylie, who also shares daughters, Wyatt, Elliot, and Bennett, with Jason, immediately shut down any negative comments regarding having the epidural. People who dismiss birth with an epidural is as not a true birth experience. I can promise you from the bottom of my heart, I felt every part of labor. You can't accept the ring of fire.
Then why can't you stand up?
Yeah.
Because
She
you can't feel your
continued.
legs.
Right. She continued, thank you. I knew what was happening. I could feel everything. Was it painful? No, that's the point of the fat needle in my back. And while Kylie doesn't expect to need a C-section procedure, she slammed the idea that having one makes giving birth any less valid. I've seen a number of triggering comments over the weekend on certain TikToks where people have been told by relatives or other people in their life that because they had an emergency C-section or a planned C-section, they did not experience birth, the 33-year-old recalled. I'm trying to be nice. Never mind. Go fuck yourself. You can kindly fuck right off. The Pennsylvania native emphasized just how offensive the take was to her. The person you are speaking to just grew a human being, and for whatever reason, that little baby had to come out the front, not the bottom. You know whose business that is? Not fucking yours. She jokingly went on to threaten anyone who disagrees with her. I dare you to say that within earshot of me. She joked, I dare you, I double dog dare you. Kylie then revealed that she, in fact, was born by C-section and went on to defend her mother,
Wow.
Lisa Devitt. You think she didn't experience birth? Kylie asked. I will kick your ass in honor of Lil Liz. She's intense.
She's intense. And she's a
Oh,
tall woman. We want no
yeah,
issues.
we're not arguing with you.
She's an athlete. We're not arguing with you. And
But you know best.
there are reasons for C-sections, and some people prefer them. That is totally up to you. Do I? No. Do I think a lot of C-sections are medically necessary? No. Do your research and look at spinning babies. There is a great thing that I did not watch, but a lot of people were shown the birth center by it, and I think it's called The Business of Having Babies. And it pretty much tells you how it's all a huge business and how obviously they make way more money when you have a C-section, the
So,
insurance companies, all of it. So just be aware and
do you feel like the only like valid medical reason for having a C-section is when like the heartbeat is being compromised or showing that it's compromised?
yeah, and probably like any of the mom's major issues like people that have hyperclampsia or whatever, where your blood pressure is really high,
Yeah.
or like sometimes I don't know much about gestational diabetes, but maybe something in that. Like any time that your body or the baby's body is being harmed, got it, you know?
Yeah.
Or like I know somebody that could not dilate past 6, um, and like she was literally on Pitocin for 30 hours.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously there are medically necessary, but I know plenty of people that they've been like, oh, the baby just keeps going up and down. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
Right. Like they're like, it's taking too long.
Yeah, and they want you to give up and you're exhausted. So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like don't put yourself in that position. You know what I mean? Like if you go to hospital, you're putting yourself in the position to like, I don't want to say take the easy way out, but in a sense, you're like, I'm exhausted. Like I'm, you know, if you
Mhm.
have a longer labor. But also the problem is people think they start labor right when contractions start, and that's not always the case.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I've been in labor for 20 something hours. It's like, well, you really haven't. You've had contractions, but like your actual labor doesn't usually last that long.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. And I think it's something where it's just so important to have like somebody that can advocate for you in these
Yes.
situations and like really like research things and like kind of try to find answers to stuff before the question or topic is being brought up so that you're aware of like what they're
And the
talking
stuff
about.
they do in medical facilities, that's not necessary. Like a lot of the time, like that stuff they put on babies' eyes is so unnecessary. It's for like curing, like protecting the baby from going blind from mothers that have syphilis. Well, if you don't have syphilis, why do they need that? And then they say babies can't see for the first few weeks of their lives. That's not true. That makes them not be able to see well and their eyes not
Yeah.
work as well.
Yeah.
And that's just something they automatically do. So in hospitals, there's just a lot of stuff they automatically do that you have to fight against.
Yeah, definitely. And I
But
think it's important, like, as the woman, it's good to be educated, but I think it's like 10 times better for like your partner or whoever's going to be with you to be even more educated because like in those like instances, you're not thinking about all this stuff and like, well, let me just think about it first or
and
I
they take the
feel like
baby from you a lot of the time. So you need that partner to be able to be there with them and be like, nope, we're not doing that. We said we don't want to do that. You can
totally
come to the hospital with a birth plan, but they're not going to listen to you.
right. And I feel like they will, if you're in no condition to like make a decision or something, they will just ask your partner. And 9 times out of 10, I feel like like half the time the woman even knows what they're asking you. Like, I don't know if you guys are saying that's best, then okay, I guess. And
Yeah.
obviously present it in that form too. Like, oh, we need to do this. Do we have your
Make sure
consent?
your baby doesn't go
Like,
blind.
oh, I guess, like, I don't know. I'm not the doctor. So I think it's just, yeah, it's really important to be educated in all
And
instances.
I always recommend, even if you are having a hospital birth, like even if you're planning a hospital birth, you've had one before, I always recommend that you find a midwife to take a birth class with. We had like an amazing birth class. I wish it was recorded, but I think we remember a lot of it. So I was like, P and I knew exactly what was happening to my body. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, here's this. Okay, we're at this level. Oh, we're at this stage. My body's cleaning out. Okay, you know.
Yeah,
So it was helpful to not be like, what's happening? Oh my God. You know, and
totally.
a lot of the time I think people don't even know like what the shifts are, and you're like,
Yeah.
and it can be scary. I mean, I don't want a free birth. That's not something that I'm interested in doing because I would like somebody to be there
Hmm.
that knows and has done it a lot. But yeah, it's just
Sure.
birth is crazy
It is. It is really crazy in any.
in any form.
Next story, Sean Kingston. Sean Kingston
I
and
hope
his
it's good.
it's not good.
Oh no.
And his mom found guilty in fraud trial.
What? I have like lately been wondering like what happened to him? Like beautiful girls, what
No,
happened?
it's so funny because when I'm with Jamil, like not too long ago, he was playing like Jamaican music. And I was like, dang, like this is some like intense Jamaican music. He's like, yeah, like we in New York, we used to like listen to this all the time, like, and I was like, I don't think we had that out here. And I was like, the furthest we got with Jamaican music was like Sean Kingston.
John Paul.
Yeah, he was like, that's not. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, we didn't listen to this stuff. Um, so I was just thinking about him the other day too. Beautiful Girls singer Sean Kingston and his mom Janice Turner received a guilty verdict in their fraud court trial after being accused of scamming vendors out of 1 million worth of goods. The Beautiful Girls singer, real name Kishan Anderson, didn't know that, and his mom Janice Turner were each found guilty on one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud at a Florida courthouse on March 28th, according to NBC News. The two will be sentenced on July 11th, with Kingston, who's 35, confined to house arrest for the time being. Meanwhile, his mom, 61, has been remanded into federal custody. The
Whoa.
son duo were accused of scamming 1 million worth of items from vendors of luxury cars, jewelry, and other high-end goods by falsely representing that they had executed bank wire or other monetary payment transfers per a press release from the Southern District of Florida's U.S. Attorney's Office. Kingston was arrested in California on May 23rd, 2024, hours after his mother was taken into police custody during a raid on his Florida rental home. He waived his right to fight extradition and was transported to Florida, where he and his mom posted bail and pled not guilty to their charges.
How'd they
During
get that money?
Seriously. During their trial, which began on March 24th, Turner testified to being irresponsible with her son's finances and creating fake wire transfers, according to NBC 6 South Florida. She
So
said,
did he even know? That's like, that sucks.
I know. She said Kingston had a need to keep up with his celebrity image through an expensive lifestyle, alleging that her son was taken advantage of by other businesses in the past. Turner testified she had every intention of paying, and the fake documents were a way to buy time so she could investigate the legitimacy of the vendors.
What? But you took their stuff.
Yeah. King,
Also, make more music. What has he made since Beautiful Girls? That was like
like
freaking
he
20 years ago.
real saying he has to keep up with his celebrity image. Like,
Get out there.
will people notice you?
I know,
If
I wouldn't even know. I really wouldn't.
peers don't know who you are. Kingston chose to not testify, with his defense attorney arguing his closing statements that the eeny meeny artist is still a kid in his mind and doesn't get how business works. However, the prosecution contended that was no excuse. There's only one reason fake documents would need to be created: to trick someone.
Yeah.
That's that's all it says for that. So
Say,
I was like, Sean,
get it
this is
together.
right.
And the mom get it together.
Also, what do you think that means? He's still a kid in his head?
Maybe he's not mentally sane
Yeah, I'm like, can you say that if,
and he's 35. That's crazy.
yeah, like, can you use that as a legit excuse if you're not, if you don't have like a
Mental
disability per
disorder.
se? Yeah.
I think you can, because I think they just you got to act it out. That's what all the mobsters did. They're like they're old, they've got dementia, they're insane now, and then they're like these poor old men, and they're like coming to thing with the cane. It's like you killed so many people,
For real.
stole so much money, and you don't remember any. Oh, that poor grandpa.
My God. He would never.
Would never hurt anybody.
He's over there pistol whipping people. Like, you're not fighting anybody. I can't. Um, the final story, Kim Kardashian will testify at Paris trial in 10 million robbery case. Do you remember when she was robbed in Paris?
Yes.
Going to trial.
Oh,
Yes, I think it was like 10 years ago. Yeah. Kim Kardashian is scheduled to testify nearly 10 years after she was robbed at gunpoint in her Paris hotel during Fashion Week. Kim Kardashian is ready to serve justice. Nearly 10 years after the Skims founder was robbed at gunpoint during Paris Fashion Week, E! News has learned that she will take the stand at the 10 million trial in May. The 44-year-old was robbed of over $10 million worth of jewelry, including a $4 million ring from Kim's then husband, Kanye West, on October 3rd, 2016, when five masked men broke into her room at the No Address Hotel in Paris. A lengthy investigation subsequently took place, with over 17 people being thought to be connected to the crime, including the brother of a limo driver Kim had used while in Paris, at
That's
which
what I was gonna say. They knew it was her.
at which time Kim also gave verbal testimony to Paris authorities in 2017. The case was finally ordered to trial with 12 people charged in 2021. Following the robbery, Kim, who had been gagged, tied up with cables and tape, and placed in her room's bathtub during the incident, detailed just how traumatic it was for her. For a good year, I almost lost myself, she reflected of the robbery on the Alec Baldwin show in 2018. I was never depressed, but I wasn't motivated to get up and work like I used to. It shook me. But the business mogul who shares North St. Chicago Psalm with Kanye also shared that she was grateful for the life-changing incident. Even though it was horrific and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, it really did deeply change me to where I feel like I can get back to myself, Kim explained. There was a lot of me that measured who I was by how much I had. I thought, oh, I'm worth so much. That needed to change in me.
I feel
A
like
year,
did it,
I
but
feel like it did for maybe like a year,
shorter.
and then she started going back. A year later, Kim, whose kids North and Saint were just 3 and 10 months old at the time, admitted that she truly thought she was going to die amid the robbery.
Yeah,
You're
that
just
seems like they're gonna take you out.
Yeah, and I remember her saying that she was like naked but in her robe, and she thought that she was like going to be like sexually assaulted and then killed.
Oh my
She
God.
said, "You're just kind of bracing yourself for the moment that they're going to shoot you and kill you," she recalled on True Hollywood Story in 2019, just thinking, you're about to die.
I mean, thank God they did not SA her, but
I agree. I think that's such a scary
still
situation
terrible.
for anybody. Um, But I think she does deserve justice for it. I think, she probably doesn't really care about the money part because she's worth more now than she ever was. But like to
They
just
deserve to not be
her,
out.
yeah, I agree. That's really scary. So, interesting stories for the day.
Interesting.
I know.
All right.
Okay, so we are gonna end the podcast instead of doing a hot topic. We're gonna do an Am I the Asshole story from Reddit.
We're like loving this. We had fun doing it in our bonus episode, and we realized that this was a better ending than a hot topic. So,
Yes.
am I the asshole for snapping at my partner in front of his coworker? My 26 Oh, I'm 26 female, boyfriend 26 male, and I've been together for almost 8 years now. We bought our house 2.5 years ago. Last summer, our basement was fully flooded. We had to redo it all. My boyfriend suffers from anxiety and is very picky with how our renovations are done, as he works in the field. We haven't been we've been at it for almost 8 months now, and we have encountered a lot of difficulties, wrong deliveries, incorrect installation, and so on. Since I'm working from home, I'm the only one here to open the door to the team we hire and pay. We had a lot of arguments because he feels like I'm responsible for everything wrong that happened since I was at the house. The thing is, I'm working. I can't leave the client call to look at every corner of the basement before paying people. During our argument, he usually becomes quite aggressive with his words, saying that I'm never able to do anything right, and he thought I was smarter than that. Keep in mind, every issue we've had, I handle the correction with the companies. Fast forward to today, there was a guy at the house installing our shower door. When I saw the invoice, I immediately paid the guy to not forget. I immediately paid the guy to not forget about it, even if he was halfway done with the job. My boyfriend saw that. He brought me into another room to silent scream at me that I was never able to learn from my mistakes, i.e., paying before the job was done, and basically being quite upset. At this point, I'm really fed up with his behavior, so I told him to go F himself. Apparently, I talked loud enough for the worker to hear me, which we don't know if we did, and now my boyfriend is mad at me. I understand that I shouldn't have said that loudly, but at the same time, he earned it. Am I the asshole? I feel like I feel bad and I need advice.
So she, so that guy is his coworker?
That didn't even, I feel like the story did not make sense in that sense. It was definitely not his coworker. I think it's just a house worker.
You told a bad story. You told the story bad. So that makes you the asshole. Yeah.
I think she might be the a-hole because I'm sorry, I get it, you're busy, but like don't pay people before the job is done.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's really,
Irresponsible.
yeah, I was gonna say what's the word I'm looking for, but yeah, that's super irresponsible and that just like doesn't, that just seems like it's common sense.
And then being like, I can't even go look before I pay them. No, I'm walking down to the basement and saying like, this is not the floor we ordered.
Yeah,
Or
I'm pretty,
how hard when they arrived, be like, what tile did you guys bring? Oh, that's not the tile.
yeah, it's very odd.
So I think we
I don't know.
finally found one that you are the a-hole. Also,
Yeah.
you might be in a toxic relationship. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
get
say
help.
too. Like him talking to you like that.
The silent scream is crazy.
No, the silence. I can't even imagine that. Like,
Also, can you imagine the workers are probably like, are
yeah,
they okay? Like what? Like,
okay over there. You guys- It's like flipping her off. Like, are you good?
just learn sign language to cuss somebody out.
Yeah, seriously.
So
Yeah,
lame.
I think it was definitely like built up over time, but I think this situation could have been avoided so easily in the beginning. Like, don't take on that responsibility then, or like find another way around it. But it's really hard to think that you can't step away for 45 seconds to go look really quick, come back.
Yeah, you're taking time away to pay them. So why
Mhm.
can't you go look?
Yeah. It just
And I'm
seems like easily fixable, but
maybe not for everybody.
yeah.
And also, if somebody's talking to you in that way, I feel like this whole relationship it's not about the basement anymore. Okay.
Yeah, we're not, that's so true. We're
You're
not
both
arguing about
assholes.
the basement. You guys might hate each other.
The silent scream is like the craziest thing I've ever to silent scream at me. Like that's insane that that's just like normal.
No, you know what it makes me think of? Like when, like when you're young, or maybe not for you, but I feel like when you're young and then like
Right.
your parents just piss you off so much, but you know you can't like let it out on them. So you just go and like you put your face in a pillow and you're just like, and they get, and you're just like,
I don't think I've ever done that, but when I used to be little and I would get mad, um, my dad like never really disciplined or punished me, but my mom did when I was little. I don't even know over what. But I remember like she would have my clothes folded in the room, but she hadn't put them away yet. Or I was supposed to, I don't remember. But I would like literally be like, my clean clothes, F these clean clothes. And I would like wipe my nose and my eyes. I was probably like Arkham's age. And I totally remember that.
that is hilarious. You think you're done with laundry?
Oh,
Oh.
we lost our light.
Yeah.
Sun's going down in my house. Hold on, honey. Hold on.
God, that's so funny. Or
Can you?
even just like it's giving silent screaming is giving like flipping them off when they turn around.
Yeah. This is some pent up hate.
Kind of crazy. Let's go to therapy maybe.
Yeah,
Learn how
not over
to
the basement.
express our emotions.
Get help, both of you.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I think,
Yeah, that's it for the day. Hopefully we'll have a good story. I'm gonna look for some good drama ones, gossip ones for next week, and I'll send them to you.
and I'm
Um,
a solo parent, so don't mind the absolute insaneness that has been going on this whole
yeah. And we will see you guys next week. Bye, dollies.
Bye, dollies.